Hello everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. Welcome, welcome. It is Monday, January 15th, 2024. It is Martin Luther King Day, so welcome if you are just joining me live tonight here on Facebook, or if you are watching the pre-recorded replay on YouTube. Either way, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Sorry, I was running a few minutes behind at the usual 8 o'clock start time. I was having, again, trouble with my technology, but I am so glad you are all joining me. And we have a big week in astrology this week. There's a lot of things going on and some very poignant, pertinent things that are important to 2024 in general. So you will not want to miss this because this is a very important broadcast. We have the start of Aquarius season. We have some other things going on. One of the quarter moon cycles is happening this week, but the big news I will get to in just a moment. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join. So, hey, Jean, welcome. Thank you for joining. Rita, Virgo in Colorado, welcome. If you know your sun, your moon, your rising sign, go ahead and post that below. If you're on YouTube and watching this, also post that below. Again, I post the replay on YouTube after the fact, but I love to hear from you. And I do try to pay attention to the comments there and also here so that, you know, I can talk with everybody in the astro community. I love seeing everybody. Yeah, so there's a lot going on this week, and we have something that's a big, huge deal that is happening already. The first big news of 2024, so you won't want to miss it. Hey, Holly, welcome. Libra in Vermont, welcome. Love that. We have a lot of Vermonters. Anybody else viewing outside of Vermont? I know Rita's in Colorado. Under mountains of snow right now. Colorado is getting walloped with snow. There is some big news on the horizon this week, and I will just jump in. It is today on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, January 15th. And we had some sleepy energy today. I don't know if anybody felt that today or not. Like when I say sleepy, it was more conducive to more spiritual work or creative work or something like that. What happened today specifically is Venus formed a trine with the north node of the moon. Venus is in Sagittarius, north node of the moon is in Aries. And so we had that beautiful alignment between Venus and the north node, which is something that's pertaining to our destiny, our future, what we're meant to do here in this lifetime. All those big important things is the north node of the moon, and having a positive alignment with Venus is very useful, and it's also very helpful because it brings love, it can bring finances, and it can just bring, like, even if you're like, well, I'm single and I didn't go out today, right? Like, well, it can just bring like camaraderie and really beautiful, because it doesn't have to be romantic love. Love is love, you know what I mean? So it can be good. Rita said, yep, I felt that. That's that sleepy energy. And so Venus kind of, she's not out there necessarily slaying dragons. She could be in Sagittarius because, you know, Sagittarius is the archer. But Venus is more apt to, like, just kind of, you know, be a little layabout, kind of have a little laziness. And then behind the scenes, we have Neptune active as well. So goodness, Venus and Neptune, they just want to feel good, eat some nice food, lay around, talk to their betrothed or their crush or their bae or whoever you're talking to. They just want to think about something other than work. And it is a Monday, so I know it's Martin Luther King Day. Some people have off from work, some people had to work, but it is definitely more conducive to kind of laying about. So we start the week on this sort of dreamy, foggy, sort of delicious, fantasy-filled Monday. And we might have even been feeling some of this even starting over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, into Monday, January 15th, and then even spilling into tomorrow. So tomorrow, also Venus is very active. So Venus formed that beautiful trine with the north node of the moon. So anyway, somehow Venus formed that alignment, that positive alignment with the north node. Now tomorrow on January 16th, she's going to form a conjunction with Ceres, the great mother, okay? And so Ceres is also in Sagittarius. Venus is in Sagittarius. The peak or the height of it is coming tomorrow at 10:06 a.m. Eastern time. Ceres is mothering, caretaking, nurturing, really nurturing is the big thing with Ceres. Ceres is a mom or a mother figure or a maternal figure in our life, and you know, sometimes we can be very nurturing and caretaking when Venus is aligning with that, because again, how do we show our love? Maybe we make somebody, you know, some vegan chicken noodle soup, or maybe we help a friend and we bring them, you know, something to their house, or whatever it is. That's that warm, nurturing, caretaking energy. You know, someone's asleep on the couch, you put a warm blankie on them. I mean, that's very much a Ceres kind of thing. And having Venus and Ceres forming a conjunction, which means they're right on top of each other. Peak, like I said, is tomorrow, but it's conjunct right now. That's something that's just beautiful, you know. Sagittarius is, I hate saying this because, I mean, every sign has its own exceptions, right? Sagittarius is not known as much for the caretaking, but I mean, it could be telling a joke or telling a story or keeping somebody occupied with a good story. Sagittarians can tell some great stories and jokes too. I mean, Sagittariuses are really funny. So maybe you cheer somebody up in that way, or somebody's cheering you up in that way. So either way, that is something that is also kind of in alignment with today, tomorrow, and we have all this delicious energy in the beginning of the week, which is nice. We're starting out. It's not exactly the most ambitious, like I said, if you're like a tax accountant, or if you're an engineer, or somebody has to do fine little, you know, you're a data entry person, you have to like pay attention to all those fine little details. That's not really this energy. This is more conducive to creative work and intuitive work and spiritual work, and like I said, just loving. You know, if you have a crush, you might not be able to get them out of your head right now. You might be thinking and thinking and thinking about them. And that can be fun to a point, as long as it's, you know, okay. Oh no, somebody said a horrible situation, but they've had an outpouring of support from family and friends. See, so that's kind of like we're getting the love. We're having the love either toward us or us towards somebody else. Yay! Wendy said you're taking your mom to her first book club tomorrow. See, so that's very warm energy. And you're talking about Ceres, the great mother, you know, I mean, that's Ceres. If you haven't heard of her, she's spelled Ceres, and Ceres is a very loving and nurturing and protective. She can be a mama bear. I'll just say that she can be she can be that way. But she usually, you won't feel her wrath unless if you endanger one of her babies, and then she'll be all about coming after you, you know. But she's mostly a benevolent astrological force. That's why I like using some of these dwarf planets and some of the asteroids, because they give us a little bit more of a deliciousness that we can. They're a subtler energy, but we can pick up on it, and it's nice. So we do get into then on Wednesday, January 17th, 2024, and even though there's not really a lot of astrological energy going on that day, there is the second quarter lunar cycle, which is the second chance new moon. You guys know I call it that. It's a second quarter lunar cycle is really where we're halfway now between the last new moon. I feel like it just took place. It did last week on Thursday. We had our first new moon of 2024, so that was a big deal. That was in Capricorn, 20 degrees Capricorn, but it was a little bit of I felt like it was kind of a little bit of a stressful new moon. There were some people, I got a lot of calls last week. There were like 911 calls. And so this week we have the second chance new moon. Now that's all going to be taking place in the cardinal signs because that was Capricorn. So the second chance new moon is going to be in Aries. Okay, so we are in Capricorn season. This is where the sun and the moon are square each other during the second chance new moon. Some people call it the first quarter lunar cycle. Some people call it the second quarter lunar cycle. But this is definitely, when you're looking at it in the sky, it's like the half of a moon in the sky. The peak or the height of it, the pinnacle of it, the maximum dosage of it is going to be on Wednesday, January 17th at 10:53 p.m. Eastern time. So 7:53 if you're out on the West Coast. And the sun is at 27 degrees Capricorn, and the moon will be at 27 degrees Aries. So if you have any planets in Aries or Capricorn, you will be feeling this energy specifically and also Libras will feel it, and also Cancers will feel it, okay, because it's all in the card. It's kind of highlighting those cardinal signs. If you're a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, you might feel this too because it's a little spicy, okay? Now, the sun, I always think of whenever Aries and Capricorn get together, it's like that old-fashioned saying of there's too many chefs in the kitchen and not enough cooks, meaning that everybody tries to be the boss. Aries likes to be the boss and in charge. Capricorn likes to be the boss and in charge. And so sometimes when Aries and Capricorn get together, there can be a power struggle. Now, of course, if they're on the same page and they're trying to both work toward a goal or a dream or an aspiration, that can be great. You can't even be, you could not stop an Aries Capricorn person. I know a few Aries Capricorn people combination in one body and in one person, and they are unbeatable. They are really like powerhouse people. So those Aries Capricorn, so if it gets on the same page, you know, then if not, there's power struggles. There could be power struggles. So we've got to watch that a little bit, where someone wants to tell us what to do, or we want to tell somebody else what to do, and no, that's my idea, and all those kinds of things. You know, I'm an Aries myself, so I will say this about my sign. Aries and Capricorn are also known for being just a wee bit selfish, okay, and a little self-centered, because hashtag they're both bosses and the CEO, and they, you know, world revolves around them. So we got to watch that. But otherwise, it could be quite dynamic, and especially like I've said before, if you haven't done your New Year's resolution yet, or you haven't really, this is a good time to do it, especially during this new moon in from the last cycle. So if you forgot the new moon, which was back on 1/1/1/1, remember I said 1/11 new moon. If you haven't done it, if you didn't do your new moon manifestation list and you haven't done that, this is the second chance to do it, and it is a powerful time, okay? 10:53 p.m. Eastern time is the peak of it, or wherever you're at, West Coast or out of the country. You have to kind of do the math there. But you could write your new moon manifestation on that time, okay? So that is another, I'm talking about, somebody asked what date it is. I'm talking about Wednesday on January 17th, 2024. So this is basically what the deal is, okay? So for those of you who are just joining. So we have that second chance new moon, and we can go ahead and use that as a pinnacle time. Now remember, when we talk about farming, this is the halfway point, new moon to full moon. So we planted seeds during that new moon, hopefully. Now we're checking on the progress, okay? So that's why there's always kind of usually something that we need to kind of revise a little bit at this halfway point. It's like, does it need more sunlight? Does it need more fertilizer? What do we need to do? So we're going to check on that progress of those plants halfway through. And so that's what the new moon, second chance new moon time is all about. And in Aries, we really want to start something new, because if you think of Aries, that's the springtime, and that is definitely, no, Wendy posted Thursday. It is Wednesday. I keep saying Wednesday. See, everybody's in that Neptune. What day is it? I don't know what day. See, this is what the energy is today on Monday. It's a little hard to kind of focus on those details. That's what I was just talking about that earlier. I love it because that's like it. People are like, I don't believe in astrology, and I'm like, yeah, but you're living this whether you know it or not. Yes, I am talking about the second chance new moon, Wendy, and it is on Wednesday. I'm going to repeat one more time, and then I'm going to ignore the comments saying otherwise. Wednesday, January 17th, and it is at 10:53 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so if you're watching this on a day that's not Monday, and we kind of come back online and we get out of the Neptune fog, you're going to watch this on YouTube and be like, what are these people? Are they not paying attention? You're going to be, but that's not what it is. It's Neptune. Neptune makes things very foggy, fuzzy, and we feel like we're a little like out of it. I was like that all day, which is amazing for intuitive work, but not these fine details, dates, times, location, all that is like, wah, it's wonkadoo. Right, just embrace it. We just embrace it. But it's great for intuitive work and creative work where we can kind of daydream and space out a little bit. It's perfect for that. Okay, so getting back to the second chance new moon, Aries is all about starting and initiating something, wanting to kind of go, and really kind of, you know, we get a little impatient during the Aries moon. Now tonight on Monday, the day of the broadcast on January 15th, this evening, the moon is leaving Pisces. That's the other thing. We are in Pisces moon, which is ruled by Neptune. So see, we're in a foggy bubble right now. So on Monday night at 10:49 p.m. Eastern time, we will switch into the Aries moon. So it's going to be Aries moon for actually a big chunk of days here, all the way until Thursday. It'll be in the Aries moon. So that's a little spicy. Aries moon's a little spicy. Don't worry, Wendy, you're good. And so Aries wants to initiate, wants to start, wants to kind of be zippy, and like I said, make things happen. Aries likes to initiate. If you think of Aries, Aries is the springtime, right? That's right when the astrological new year takes place, not during this January 1st stuff. The astrological new year is the spring equinox. And so that's the start of Aries new moon. And so that's when we initiate new things. All the new tulips and the blossoms, you know, come up, and we start, you know, kind of feeling that birds and the bees and all that. That's the Aries new moon. So we might get a little spicy during this. And again, it's taking place at the very end of Aries. So if you were born around this time of, you know, April 17th or so, or around that time, April 20th, April 15th, you will feel that you will be in the heart of this. But like I said, all of the cardinal signs are going to feel it. Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancers will all feel this. Leos and Sagittarius might get a little spicy because it's going to ignite all that fire sign. So if you haven't written your new moon manifestation list, go ahead and write it on that day, because that's a good day to harness that dynamic. Again, if you get Capricorn Aries on the same plane, oh my gosh, I can't think, that's like an unbeatable combination. If those two are on the same team, that's like we could do all kinds of stuff during that time. And so that is something that we will. Yes, Andrea, April 15th, she said, yep, you're spicy. You got a little spicy in there. So now when we move on, and we have a big thing coming at the end of the week, so I'm building up to, I'm kind of going through these a little quicker than I usually do, because we have a bigger transit coming, and I really want to spend some time talking about this. Okay, Thursday. April, now I'm saying it, January 18th, 2024, we have Mercury forming a sextile with Saturn. That is a very positive transit, Mercury sextile Saturn. Mercury is still at the very kind of Capricorn. Mercury just went, when was Mercury in Capricorn? Mercury went into Capricorn on the 13th. So Mercury just re-entered Capricorn, because remember, Mercury was retrograde at the end of December. And so Mercury in Capricorn is going to form a sextile with Saturn in Pisces. And Saturn is all about goals and all about getting things done and checking off the list and all that kind of stuff. And so Mercury and Mercury and Saturn could be very good together. Okay, so if you have to have a serious discussion with somebody, if you have to like really sit down and go over the facts and the detail and the data and all the different, you know, and the fine print, that is actually a good day. So where we're in this cloudy, foggy bubble of confusion in the beginning of the week, now really we can do some very dynamic. So if you have to do your taxes at that time, or fine details, or talk about, you know, facts and data and times and all, that's the day on Thursday the 18th to focus on that. The peak or the height of it is going to be overnight at 3:49 a.m. Eastern time. So we'll feel it starting on Wednesday into Thursday. That's a really mental clarity day, where this beginning of the week shenanigans is definitely not about mental clarity. It's literally about being kind of spacey. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's like our job right now in the zodiac, to do that. Because, you know, I don't know, if you think of Pisces, you think of Neptune, Albert Einstein, one of the world's most famous Pisces, you know, he used to say imagination was even more important than knowledge. And I assume he said that because probably a lot of his, you know, his discoveries and all of his, you know, he probably was just daydreaming while he was making a sandwich or something, you know, he probably figured that out. That's what this energy is supposed to do. We're not always supposed to be 100% on, you know, just like conscious and thinking about all that. There are times we need to kind of space out. The world of spacing out is really where our creativity lies. And so that's a good thing to do. It's just that it's not good for all this data, you know, figures and things like that. So, but Wednesday into Thursday is that time. So if you have a big presentation to do or something you really need a lot of mental clarity and focus on, that is the day. And so Mercury sextile Saturn day on the 18th is the time to do that. Now the energy does switch on that day because that's when the moon leaves Aries at 3:12 a.m. So again, if you're on the West Coast, that's 12:12 a.m. right after midnight. The moon goes into Taurus, and then we get a little bit more grounded. Okay, I love the Taurus moon. Taurus moon is actually one of my favorite moons. It is said that the moon is most at home in the astrological sign of Taurus. So if you have a Taurus moon, or if you are a Taurus, that is going to be your time. And so you'll have a little bit of a lunar boost to you starting on Thursday. Okay. The next day, we even have some more of that, now we have a weird, confusing day. We have a little bit more of Mercury, okay, is going to be forming a trine with Jupiter in Taurus. It's funny, Mercury's in Capricorn, Jupiter's in Taurus. That is a very positive transit. Anytime you get Mercury and Jupiter together, that is a very positive, that's a very talkative transit. First thing in the morning, 4:31 a.m. Eastern time is going to be the peak or the height of it. That's on January 19th. That's good luck, good fortune, optimism when you get Jupiter involved. But caveat is Venus is now going to square Neptune. So where Mercury can be, again, I said like mental clarity, we have Mercury's mental clarity. Then we have this Venus squaring Neptune, which is more about not having clarity, especially when it pertains to love or money. Okay, so Venus again is in Sagittarius, and then we get Neptune in Pisces, and they're going to form a square. That's 10:49 a.m. Eastern time. So on Friday, that's a peak of it. But remember, we'll feel these things leading up to that. So you could even feel that on a little bit on, you know, Wednesday. And so that's not a great day for love, but it is a good day for having a little bit more mental clarity. So it's like a weird mixed day. But I'm just going to kind of warn you that we're coming up to a big thing the next day. So I'm hoping some of that positive energy from Mercury trine Mercury trine Jupiter, Freudian slip there, Mercury trine Jupiter, hopefully negate some of this energy that's coming the next day, because the next day there's a lot. Hey Rosalie, thank you 50 stars, first stars of the broadcast. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Oh, you got 2 rings out of that one. My beautiful space clearing bell. There's a lot of energy on Friday, and then there's going to be even more energy on Saturday. And the energy on Saturday, it's a mixture. Okay, so I'm gonna start by saying on Saturday. Oh, Wendy, thank you. 100 stars from Wendy. Star party. Oh, Andrea, 50 stars. Thank you. Oop, double ringing there. Jackson asked if he could send. Hi, Jackson. We'll give you a little ring today too. Thank you, Jackson. He's so cute. Okay, so we got a star party. Thank you, everybody, for the stars. Stars are a little way of giving financially to the broadcast, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm not even sure where to start pulling this apart here. This is 2024. Okay. All right, so I guess I'll start with the good, and then I'll lead into other stuff, okay? the good thing is Aquarius season starts on that day. Yay! So if you are an Aquarius, I don't remember too many Aquariuses commenting on the broadcast earlier. If you're an Aquarius, raise your hand because it's your birthday. It's your birthday. That we're getting into Aquarius season. It will be your birthday time, okay? We are moving into Aquarius time. So if you are an Aquarius, happy birthday, and you are having your solar return. It means when the sun moves into the astrological sign of Aquarius. Oh, that's right, Wendy. Oh my God, duh. See, we're all just a little out of it today, Wendy. I forgot. I'm sorry. Hello, Aquarius. Yes, on the 4th. Okay, so happy birthday. Fun fact, though, this year, we do have a leap year this year. We do have a February 29th this year. That is going to be Pisces season, but yeah, that's kind of cool. I know it's Neptune. We're all having a Neptune. I need to, like, kind of restart my brain. Okay, so we're in Aquarius season on Saturday. That's going to happen at 9:07 a.m. Eastern time, so 6:07 a.m. if you're out on Pacific time, United States. But this is a beautiful time of year. We're going to be ending Capricorn season, and we're going to be starting Aquarius season. But there's another reason why we're going to be, yes, and everybody please wish Wendy happy birthday. And any other Aquarians out there, if you want to comment, we'll wish you happy birthday too on the broadcast. Okay, so that's beautiful. And we're really going to start Aquarius season for another reason. And the other reason is on Saturday, we also have Pluto returning to Aquarius again. We got a double bubble here of Aquarius energy all on the same day. Very powerful. Now, the sun is returning to Aquarius, or going into Aquarius, and Pluto's returning to Aquarius. What do you think that means? Conjunction. Whoo! We got our first conjunction of the year, and it is a freaking powerful conjunction. Also called a cazimi. Cazimis mean in the heart of the sun. So we have our first cazimi of 2024, first conjunction of 2024, other than lunar stuff. And this is a big deal. When the sun and Pluto, oh boy, form that conjunction, I won't even say that's spicy. That is really big time. Yeah. Yes, cazimi, C-A-Z-I-M-I. It's a lot of people started talking about these cazimis. It really just means being in the heart of the sun. So Pluto and the sun are kind of doing this thing. It's really in astrology still called a conjunction, but it's the first big conjunction of the year between the sun and a planet. Okay, and so this is big. And yes, Pluto is a planet. It's a dwarf planet, but it is a planet. So that is the first big conjunction of the year, 8:46 a.m. Eastern time, and they're forming that conjunction right before in Capricorn, right before they switch to Aquarius. It's going to be at the last possible second, because if you think about it, the conjunction, the peak of it's 8:46 a.m., and then the sun goes into Aquarius at 9:07 a.m. So, I mean, really, 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 like, it's the last second of Capricorn energy, and it's like, we're getting a pow, pow, pow. Now, if it was just this happening, I would say that's a big deal. But the fact that Pluto is actually going into Aquarius again, oh boy. I mean, this is like a whole broadcast. This is a lot of energy. So we are returning to Pluto and Aquarius one more time. We're leaving Pluto and Capricorn. Now, Pluto and Capricorn, Pluto leaving any planet is a big, or any sign, is a big, huge deal, because it's like a whole generation of people this is going to affect. It's not just like one little, like, oh yeah, it's going to be there for 3 weeks or something. It's going to be there for 22 years, 21 to 22 years. It's going to be there a long time in Aquarius. So it takes Pluto 2 to 3 years on average to go anywhere in a chart, to go over like a point in your chart, like a rising sign or something. It takes Pluto a long time to go over any kind of a planet. That's why Pluto's lessons are the harshest sometimes, the most thorough, and really and Pluto hardly moves hardly at all in a person's chart in a lifetime, because Pluto is in each sign for 10, 15, 20 years, depending. Pluto also has a weird orbit where it goes like oblong. So sometimes it's 10 years and sometimes it's 20 something years, you know. So Pluto has a weird, yes, small but fiery, Andrea said. Feisty. We could say feisty. I mean, Pluto is, so Pluto, we got the first little kind of hint of what this will be like last year on March 23rd, 2023, all the way from March 2023, all the way until September 4th. Okay, Pluto was in Aquarius last year. We got the first taste of it. This is the first time, by the way, since 1777. Okay, so Pluto does not go all the way around your chart a whole time, because it takes almost 248 years for it to go all the way around the sun. So we have, it's a big thing. So basically, we got the first taste of it, or the first flavor of it, March 23rd until September 4th. Now, from September 4th until January 20th, right now, okay, this week, it was in Capricorn. Now, we've been finishing up this Capricorn stuff for a long, long, long time, which started back in 2008, 2007, 2009. It was like in that time. So if you think about what was happening at that time, that was when the real estate market collapsed. That was when the economy went kind of crazy. That was actually when Obama took office for the first time. That was just a lot of change going on at one time. And it was kind of like crazy back then, 2008 to 2009. So if you think about what was going on in your chart at that time, that's how long Pluto has been in Capricorn, since all the way back then. And so now we're finally just getting this first inkling and flavor of it. It does return in its journey, what I call the windshield wiper. It goes forward and then it goes retrograde backward. It goes forward, retrograde backward. It is going to return one more time to Capricorn, and then we'll be done. We'll be done, like for our lifetime. It will never come back to Capricorn again in our lifetime, because again, you'd have to live 248 years, and science hasn't figured out how we can do that yet. So the last time that Pluto will be in Capricorn is this year, okay, just briefly, from September 1st to November 19th. Yeah, right before election time, all that stuff is going to be going on. So that's going to be intense. We're going back to that Capricorn, and Capricorn is like, the government and all that stuff. Aquarius is a humanitarian sign. Now, do we have a big, huge humanitarian crisis on our hands? Absolutely. Absolutely we have one, with Israel and Hamas and all this stuff forming. And so we're going to have to figure out how to be humanitarian. Aquarius wants to make the world a better place. Now, again, I'm going to do this dualistically, because we have the sun going into Aquarius, and then we have Pluto going into Aquarius. So if you think of the sun, it's just going to be 1 month, right? We're going to be January 20th all the way until February 18th, 2024. Okay. So that's just, but then we have Pluto being in Aquarius. Now we're getting an extra long, we're going to be in that all the way until September. See, now it's getting longer that we're in Aquarius for. So if you are a very early degree Aquarius person watching this broadcast, or you know anybody in your family or best friend or spouse or whoever that's an early degree, like meaning they were born around, the 20th, 21st, 22nd of this month, you are in the heart of this. And that means Pluto's right up on your sun. I can't think of a more thorough transformation, but boy, Pluto can be harsh. I'm just going to say that. Pluto can be really, really harsh energy. And so, can it be transformative? Yeah. Can we paint it into being a sexy, like, okay, it's an opportunity for change? Yeah. But boy, Pluto usually changes through some kind of a thing, I hate to say that, but that's just the way it is. Pluto can sometimes bring up some tragedy or loss or something, because Pluto is death, rebirth, transformation, Phoenix rising. People go, it's Phoenix rising. Like, it's so fun. I'm like, yeah, something burnt to the ground before it rose up, and so that's basically what's going on with this Pluto energy. A lot of people contacted me and they were like, I thought that this was supposed to be the age of Aquarius and we were supposed to have so much fun and blah, 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 all this stuff, right? Yeah, okay, that's true. But it's also, you know, going to be a lot of change. And especially when we have these big, huge, like when Pluto goes into an area of a change, that's a whole, we're going to be spending 20 something years figuring out how to be nice to each other again, how to see commonality. And usually what happens is, typically, is that things go wrong before they can be made right. That's just typically what the deal is. So it was a long, long time. Pluto, I don't know the dates, Ashley Ann, of Pluto in Sagittarius, but yes, it would have been around that time. I don't have the dates in front of me, but it would have been around that time. So yes, it would be affecting everybody. And Jacoy asked a very good question. Will it affect everyone or just the fixed signs? It will be affecting all the fixed signs. So that is a good point. So it'll affect Aquarius, especially if you're born in the beginning. It'll affect Leo, especially if you're born in the beginning. It'll affect Taurus if you're born, especially if you're born in the beginning, and it'll be affecting a Scorpio as well if you're born in the beginning. However, also it will affect the other air signs. It can affect anybody, especially where has Pluto been in your chart. Now, I'm not a whole sign astrologer. I don't believe in whole sign astrology because it's not really as accurate. I feel personally, everybody's got their own deal, and I'm not here to say that's right or wrong. It's just my personal preference is I don't like whole sign astrology. So it depends on where Pluto is in your chart. It's not really, it's like going like, doop. It's like not really going to be going, you know, it's just that it's changing flavors in whatever area it is. So we're going from Capricorn, which is more rigid. Capricorn, which is more old-fashioned. Remember, Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. Capricorn, which is more, you know, follow the path and da-da-da-da and all this stuff. That's where Capricorn is. Then we get into Aquarius. Aquarius is like, do it different. Let's do something crazy. Let's do something different. Let's make change. Aquarius, I have nicknamed the change maker. Capricorn is the CEO. So if you think about when Pluto went into Capricorn, Capricorn was all about that time, was all about, you know, questioning, you know, what corporation is too big. You know, remember we were asking those questions of like, should corporations be this big, and should they, you know, the banks were all collapsing and the mortgage crisis happened and all the whole real estate market went, you know, all of that was Pluto and Capricorn when it first went in. Because remember, it always, when it first goes into an area, it's got to like shake things up and say, well, that's not working and that's not working and that's not working. So this all has to be fixed. That's what planets do when they first go in. So yes, I'm excited to have a breath of fresh air. I'm kind of done with this Pluto and Capricorn stuff, like all this banking and all the the political and all the stuff of you know, United States has been also going through its Pluto return, which I have dedicated videos on my YouTube channel about, where the United States was going through its Pluto return now for the last 2 years. And so it's really shaking things up, especially in the political and financial arenas of the United States. But now we have Pluto going into Aquarius. And so that's going to be just a whole new deal. I mean, it's a whole new deal. And yes, it could absolutely be the patriarchal establishment being, you know, like shaken up and all this kind of stuff. So it's not that everybody's going to experience this harshly or bad, but you know, if you think about these big planets, it is going to open up our eyes to humanitarian crisis. Maybe it's about, like I said, Israel and Hamas. Maybe it's about, you know, people trying to get into the country. Maybe it's going to be about sex trafficking. I mean, it could be all kinds of things. When you think of humanitarian, this is all kinds of stuff. Aquarius tends to want to leave the world a better place. I mean, that is a sign that really likes the, you know, most Aquarians I know are very interested in the environment, very interested in treating fellow man and women, you know, gay rights, all kinds of things, you know, I mean, Black Lives Matter, all this stuff that is very much, that's Aquarius stuff right there. And so, that is the thing. And so we're going to be in that, and we're returning to that. Now, again, Aquarius is also the sun sign. The sun is going into Aquarius at the same time. So we're going to be in this Aquarian time frame. So it's like we're almost getting like a tsunami of Aquarius energy, like suddenly. It's going to be a very big, on Saturday and the end of the week, it's going to be a very big switch, which I find when that happens astrologically, whoo, you know, that is all going to be a big switch. And so when there's big change like that, and it changes all at once, that's when I get a lot of calls like, oh my God, what the heck is going on, Gretchen? There's all this stuff happening. Because yeah, there's a big wave of change coming. Charlie said all that stuff is toxic. Yeah, all that, those things. But we could be having, like I said, like Pluto and Aquarius. Now it's going to take 21 years to work all this out, just like it's taken since 2008 or 7 or whatever, 2009. I can't remember exactly when Pluto went into Capricorn. I think it was 2008. When that happened, okay, there was a lot of toxic stuff, because when Pluto was in Sagittarius, which somebody brought up here, I think it was Ashley Ann brought up Pluto in Sagittarius, that was when everything, we were handing out houses. You know, there was like the McMansions. I don't know if people remember that McMansion kind of thing. And, you know, there was a lot of opulence, and there was a lot, because Sagittarius doesn't have many of the breaks. Sagittarius wants to have a good time. Remember, it's Jupiter, ruled by Jupiter. So there was a lot of financial opulence, and then people were getting buried under debt, and, you know, taking on all these, like building these big giant homes, having these, that was the start of like the big giant cars, the big giant homes, everything was, that was Pluto and Sagittarius time frame. So then it got corrected in Capricorn, because it was like, wait a minute, we can't do that right now, blah, 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 you know, and like Capricorn, Pluto got corrected all that, and then every you know, a lot of those people lost their homes, and you know, the lenders, the banks that were giving out the money, all of a sudden like, whoops, we can't do that anymore, you know. So now we're getting into the Aquarius, which is more about green building, okay, you know, being responsible, having an electric car, not a McMansion house and a McMansion car and whatever kind of thing. It's more about having being nice to the environment, and how about people's rights, you know, and all kinds of things. But remember, when the pendulum swings one way and then it swings all the way the other way, there's a lot of correction that has to take place. And that's where it gets a little hinky. I am excited about this because I feel like a lot of this stuff could be very positive at the end, you know, and kind of figuring these things out. But it's just going to be bumpy in the beginning. It always usually is when the correction happens. There's always a bumpiness. So that's what's happening on Saturday, and the Sun and Pluto are aligning. Now, if it was just that, I would say, oh, people are going to go crazy. I mean, there's going to be probably a shooting. There's probably going to be, you know, a lot of stuff going on in the, you know, in the news. So this is not a time. It's going to be very, very intense. That's not a time to have the big talk with your partner about the things that annoy you. You know, it's not the time to have the Friday, you know, can we talk with my boss, you know, and ask them for a raise. This is not this time. Because things could get very, you know, Pluto's the planet of extreme. So things could get very out of control very quickly, and very, very, very intense. Because remember, Pluto tends to want to dredge up something and wants to explore the subconscious mind and wants to go into the shadow side, which is the side none of us wants to talk about. And then there's even more. On the same day, on Saturday, because, you know, sometimes the universe is an overachiever. Black Moon Lilith is going to form a trine with Mars on Saturday also. 3:57 p.m. Eastern time. So again, earlier than that if you're on the West Coast, right? Everybody's like, holy crap. Mars and Lilith. Okay, it's a trine. That's positive, but who are the players here? We got Pluto, we got Lilith, we got Mars. Oh, we have the sun. The sun's nice. the sun's nice. The sun's the outlier here, really. Out of all these things, the sun is the outlier. But we got some really, really, really hardcore energy coming on Saturday. And yes, we could totally feel it on Thursday and Friday, Saturday and Sunday. You know, so yeah, that day might be a good day to stay home and do some housework. Somebody says, yeah, Andrea said, I'm staying home watching chick flicks all day on Saturday. That's all on Saturday. All on Saturday. Holy cow, people are saying, oh my gosh, you know, yeah, I mean, it's a lot. Thank you, Holly, for 100 stars. Yes, thank you, thank you. Yes, it is the age of Aquarius, and we are moving into a new time, but boy, the beginning part of this is real super bumpy. And so all of that's taking place on Saturday, all in one concentrated thing. And so that's a bit crusty and crunchy. I'll just say that. So I know some people said their birthday is around that time, or their, I can't remember, daughter's or granddaughter's birthday. Somebody was around that time, but yeah, I mean, there's just a lot coming on that, around that, and it's all peaking on that day. So if you are an Aquarius, again, you will feel this. And so it depends on where Pluto is in your astrological chart. Pluto has been in my area of health all this time, since 2007. Pluto has been in my area of health, and I felt it. I will share with you, I had a big time, super big health crisis when Pluto first went into that area of my chart on a personal level. And it was bad. And I have spent all the way since 2007 to 2024 now improving my health, one layer at a time. I always say Pluto's motto is what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And so I am actually healthier now than I was in 2007. And I'm older now, obviously, than I was in 2007. I'm healthier, but I've had to redo, because if you think of the planet of extremes and you think of like something that has to be really kind of fundamentally changed, you know, that's Pluto. Pluto will change you fundamentally, like down to the core. And so I had to change every single thing in my life. I had to change my activity. I had to change my everything I eat. Even yesterday I was changing something that I eat, right? I've changed all the products that I use in my house. I have changed, I mean, I have gone on such a sort of extreme, but yes, that's Pluto. Pluto will completely revamp your life. That is this type of planet. And so wherever Pluto is it something you feel every day? Probably not, unless if Pluto is in your area of health, because your health is your health. But basically that's something that is very deep that we have to experience, and that's an excavation of monumental proportions of wherever Pluto is in your life. And so it's something that we have to lean into the change. You know, I know a lot of people are like, I want to bury my head, and yeah, maybe on that day I'm probably going to bury my head on that day on the 20th. But it's not, we can't bury our head for 15, 20 years. You know, I mean, that's just the way Pluto is. So we have to lean into that, and we have to embrace that. You know, I could say more. I don't want to scare anybody, but Pluto's something that is, I don't like to motivate through fear. I like to give you guys, and I use myself as an example, okay, of the completeness. Those who know me personally know what I'm talking about, that I had to go through so many changes. I lost 60 pounds. I don't use, you know, drugs or alcohol. I'm completely sober. I've had to completely change my entire life down to the core. Okay, and that's the way that Pluto, okay, rolls. And so wherever Pluto is in your chart, that's the deep change that you have to go through, and you have to lean into the change, because Pluto, yeah, somebody put it really well, Holly, you put it really well, do or die. Yeah, that's Pluto. So wherever Pluto is in your area, it could be marriage, it could be communication, it could be you know, wherever, that's where the depth of changes and things take place. And it's just something that it's like, it's there all the time. And there's times that it peaks like Saturday is a day that it would peak and that we would feel it more, and then it kind of goes in the backdrop, then it comes out again, and then it goes in the backdrop, and again. But for like 20 years, I mean, it's doing this, or 15 years, or however long it's in every area. That's where we feel the extreme amount of change. And so, yeah, I mean, I had a client one time, Pluto went into her area of home and family, and her house burned down to the ground, just totally burnt down. And so she had to rebuild, and she has a bigger and better and happier house now, and thank God everybody was safe and okay. But that's the way Pluto operates sometimes. So sometimes we have to really go through. Sometimes, like, if Pluto's in your area of marriage, we'll say, you're never going to do relationships the same again. But that might be good news. I have talked to people where I said, you're never going to have the same type of relationship again. They're like, thank God. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes. So that's a Pluto thing, you know. Yes, yes, yes. So many changes in marriage. A lot of people are commenting about this, you know. Yes, Kelly, that's exactly. Yes, I'm Leo rising. Yes, Kelly. So we was talking about what my rising sign is. So yeah, we don't want to walk on eggshells. It's just we have to lean in. We have to lean in. Kathy, oh, Twombly said that's exactly happening to you. Oh, Charlie said you were injured in 2007, changed your life. Yeah, that could have been a Pluto transit for you. And then, boom. And then you got to, like, spend all the time, you know, kind of dealing with that. And so that's the way Pluto is. So it is complete. And there's a lot going on with Pluto. And, of course, there's other things in our chart that can cause health things or relationship things, but Pluto's the most thorough lesson that you can get out of any of the planets, because it's just the length of time you're working on that lesson is extra long. So you have it's a decade, 2 decades sometimes, which is going to be the case in Aquarius. It'll be 2 decades in Aquarius. So I mean that's a whole generation or more of people, you know. And if you guys remember back on March 23rd of last year, I actually did a whole broadcast about how Pluto affects the generations. Okay, so if you go back onto my YouTube channel, if you want to rewatch that part, you can. And I go through all the generations that it was affecting, and that's on my YouTube channel. March, it would have been whatever week that was of March 23rd. And it would have been an update like this, but you can skip to that part and just listen to, because it was pretty fascinating. A lot of you that watched that gave me comment that you really thought that was pretty cool. Exactly, Jean. So that's a good question. You said, if Pluto's going into Aquarius, does that mean Pluto will affect the house that Aquarius is in? Exactly. That is exactly what the deal is. Oh my gosh. Yes. Andrea said extra deep. Yeah, it will be. Kelly, oh, so you are one of the ones, when Pluto goes into your 7th house of marriage, you will never have another marriage the same. It's going to radically transform your whole life, and it's going to take that long to do it. It'll take, it'll just be layer after layer after layer after layer. That's how it works. Oh no, Rosalie. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry. You said your husband lost your job today due to health issues. His birthday is January 29th. Yeah, so he'll be having Pluto going over his sun. Not anywhere. It's going to take years for it to hit that. Even though it's just, I know it seems like just a few days, like, oh, it's only 9 days away. But Pluto will take years to get to that point, okay? Yeah, it's in your 8th house, Jean. Yes. Yeah, so a bunch of people, Ashley Ann said you don't have any planets in Aquarius. And the other thing is, if you have any planets in Leo, well, Aquarius opposes Leo. So Pluto will oppose planets in Leo. So if you have any planets in Leo, you'll feel this, and also Taurus and Scorpio as well. And then also we have to remember that the sun is moving into Aquarius. The archangel associated with Aquarius is Uriel. Okay, Uriel. Ariel, Archangel Ariel is one of my favorites. That's the archangel that has the lantern and shows you the way, lights the way. I have nicknames for all the astrological signs, and my nickname for Aquarius is the change maker. Not everybody's happy with the change, okay? Uranus is a change maker, and Aquarius, because Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and they're both the change makers. But we are going to be shown a different way, you know. We're going to be shown a different way, and that's what Aquarius and Pluto is going to be all about. It's going to be kind of harsh. Pluto sometimes is harsh. You know, it changes because it's like the most thorough, down to the core, bone changing thing that you can get. Now, I will say this very quickly. I touched on bones. Aquarius is the area of the calves, the shins, and the ankles. Okay, and it's also the circulatory system, so it's the veins in the body, and it's the blood going through the veins. You know, blood itself is Mars, but with Aquarius, it's the veins. So if you have any Aquarius on your area of like health or whatever, that's something to kind of keep in mind. Yes, yeah. So it depends, and they'd have to be in the beginning part. You'll feel it now, you know, if they're 0 degrees, 1 degree, 2 degrees. If those planets in your chart are that will be a thing. So yes, I like that, Wendy. We are what we emit. So keep your head up, smile, and be kind to everything that you encounter. Yes, I like that. You know what I like is knowing this. Everybody's going through something. I mean, everybody goes through something in their life. Every single person goes through something. So, you know, this is the deal. I don't know anybody that gets out of Earth school scot-free. You know, there's always something that we gotta kind of face and encounter and look at. So, yeah. So there you go. So that is the forecast. Now, Sunday is a very, very quiet day astrologically. But this is the big news for sure. This is really the big news. Next week, we do have the full moon coming in Leo, 5 degrees Leo. So if anybody's got Leo out there, we got the first full moon of 2024. It's the wolf moon. Okay. And that's coming next week on Thursday, January 25th. That is going to be, in, Leo, because the sun will be by that point in Aquarius. And, so here's the thing though, that is a micro full moon. It's not a big, huge full moon. It's going to be what they call micro full moon, which means it'll be very far away. It'll look like a little tiny full moon. But yeah, so that is the, if anybody has any questions, I know that really kind of got the chat going. A lot of people were commenting on that, on the Pluto thing, and also Aquarius season. It is Aquarius season. We have to be happy about that. It's just boy, that first day, ouch, that's a little ouchy on the 20th, I'll just say. So yeah, that's the time to disengage. Be kind, like what Wendy said. Be kind, kind of get into, you know, everybody's got a struggle. That's not the time to lay on your horn and ride someone's tail and all those types of things. It's not that time. It's the time to lean back and just go, okay, everybody's kind of struggling right now. And if anything comes up to deal with dark thoughts, because that's very Pluto, and that's Lilith too. Black Moon Lilith is involved as well. You know, you might feel a little darker. It's okay. It's not all in your head. You're not crazy. It's just something that's kind of coming up. It's like trigger. You know, that could be a very triggering time. Yeah, I'm going to pull a card for Philip. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Philip. Okay, so, by the way, if anybody out there can just send Rosalie's beautiful husband, Philip, some wonderful healing energy, I know he would appreciate that. Yeah, this is a big change. I'm feeling, oh my gosh, he's very stressed out. So Philip is getting grace under pressure, which is grace under pressure. He feels there's a lot of pressure. This is a feeling card. I know it looks scary, but it's just a feeling card. It means like he is feeling the pressure right now. And he's feeling very frustrated. This is the card of frustration. So we know he feels kind of, but I feel like he needs this time, this break, this time off, this sabbatical, if you will. I feel like he needs a little bit of that. how do I say this? It's like he's not in that long. Like, I feel like he kind of comes into his own. I almost feel like he's getting Mercury, which is the card of thinking, talking, communicating. I think it gives him time to work on his health issue, you know what I mean? And I think it kind of gives him a new plan of attack or a new way of like approaching it or something. I will say he's getting Mars, which is blood, but that's also can be surgeries. I don't know if there's something that's going to be corrected, or I don't know. I don't know what's going on with his treatment plan, but that is definitely something that could happen. But I just feel like it gives him more time to sink into his what he needs to do. Like, sometimes our health is what we're supposed to do. Like I just said, I've been dealing with this health issue since 2007. Okay, whatever. But this is the time I have to do that in my life. It's not going to last forever. Thank God. Amen. I'm like waiting for this Pluto to move on. Just move on, you know. But it is like, it's like when we're in something, sometimes we have to solely be in it. And I get that feeling for Philip. Like, he has to like kind of sink into it more, because I feel like he hasn't been able to have to spend time on his healing journey, if that makes any sense. Ashley Ann, okay, there's somebody else that asked a quick question too. Maybe it was Ashley Ann. Oh no, Wendy, you had a fight with your brother. Okay, Ashley Ann. And then I'm going to do a card, okay, for what we need to know about the week. So I'm going to do a quick card for a neighbor situation that Ashley Ann. Ooh, that's nice. Ashley Ann, you got the card of have faith. Have faith, Ashley Ann. What does Ashley Ann need to know? There's a lot of anxiety around this. It's very erratic. There's a lot of instability or erratic feeling with this. God, there's a lot of, I'm getting the card, be patient. I don't know if you're moving or they're moving with a neighbor situation, but I almost feel like this is going to kind of resolve itself in some way. Either they move or you move, something like that. Oh, nice. Well, Rosalie, that's good. Maybe he'll have some support too. That could be good. Okay, Ashley Ann, so I feel like as if, so you're getting the card of have faith, because somehow mysteriously this is going to be resolved. This is the card of anxiety, Ashley Ann. You have, this is saying wait and be patient. I know this card looks scary, but it is saying be patient. And this is a new building, a new structure. Maybe you move or maybe they move, but I feel like the universe is conspiring to help you and to figure this out. Okay. Hope that helps. Oh no, Wendy said, terrible feud with your brother. His words were very hurtful. Remind me what astrological sign your brother is. Wendy Martin. You're welcome, Ashley Ann. I hope that helps, Rosalie. I feel like Philip needs to like lean into, he really just needs to lean in more to his healing and his health and things that he can control and things that are good for him. Okay. Taurus, oh yeah. Taurus is right now been getting worked out. I'll just say that because Uranus is in Taurus and Jupiter's in Taurus. Jupiter's pretty good, but it's been retrograde in Taurus. I mean, it finally just went direct. But it has been retrograde. So, I don't know. I mean, when they blow, they really blow. Yeah, this was a big, huge fight. There's a lot of this comes from feelings of depression or feelings of not feeling good enough. And I almost feel like he misunderstood or mistook something for, like you were saying, like he internalized what you were saying. In other words, maybe he took, he like misheard you and like he thought that you were saying he was bad, but you were saying, oh, this thing is bad, but he took it as he was bad. Like, because he's looking at everything as cup is half empty sometimes. Like I feel like he's got his cup as half empty goggles on, and that's how he's like perceiving everything. And to me, it feels like as if he took it, whatever you said, the wrong way. And it was almost like that was his own self-esteem that was talking about it. Okay. Like that was his own self-esteem and his own perception. You got to give this some time. This is going to take a while. He's a Taurus. Tauruses can be stubborn. That's like part of the Taurus thing. But I don't know. I feel like as if he, All right, so I pulled 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, and then it flipped into this. And this is the outcome card, okay? See, there's a dead tree, but then a beautiful new tree, a butterfly, metamorphosis, change. Okay, so 4 cards means there's a period of time that you go by that you're not talking, you're not communicating. Like, literally, you got the breakup card, but it's your, oops, I just dropped it. It's your brother, so obviously you're not breaking up. But this is like, look, she's walking one way, she's going out the door, he's going this way. Like, these two are not on the same page. So yeah, you totally had a thing. But 4 cards means a period of time here. It doesn't mean exactly 4 days, 4 weeks, or 4 months, but it just means like a chunk of time. Okay, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be a chunk of time that goes by, and then you end up talking. I think it could be in February. Just so that you know. Oh, thank you, Rosalie. 50 more stars. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so I hope you guys have a good understanding of what's going on, the astrological energies, how impactful they are right now. Oh boy, they are very impactful and very, very impactful. And so I'm going to pull up cards. What do we need to know for the week? Okay, and if this broadcast is helpful to you, definitely share with a friend. Please, please, please like my YouTube channel, because I didn't meet my goal last year. I wanted to get 1,000 subscribers, but I am going to do it for sure this year. I will get 1,000 subscribers, and so make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. And I do have that other Pluto. I have the United States Pluto return on there, and I also have the Pluto affecting the generations, which is on there too. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Okay, so, and of course, if you guys want a personalized astrological session, definitely let me know. What do we need to know about this? Ooh, I had cards just fly out, okay? What do we need to know about this week? A lot of energy. Oh, we got to accept disappointments gracefully and ask with sincerity. I'm going to pull some more cards about that, but if we do have a disappointment or something that happens around this time, this Saturday, you know, January 20th, it's not just one day. I mean, we're talking about years, you know, this is affecting. But what do we need to know about this coming week? What is the deal? I mean, it's change. It's just change. I will say the beginning of the week is better for romance and dreamy, like this dreamy Neptune. God, this Neptune thing keeps coming out. Neptune. And then we have the card. This is a beautiful card. Love, money, and creativity all in one. So even though we have this big life-changing stuff, and wherever Aquarius is in your astrological chart is going to be affected deeply by this energy, especially like I said, at the end of the week. We're having waves of change. So it could affect our finances, but there could be some disappointing energy too in the background. I can't sort of negate that. It is something that, but we have to check in. This Ask for Sincerity card, this is about checking in with our intuition. The good thing about Pluto is highly intuitive. Not always sensitive, but intuitive. So, Pluto can help us to see an undercurrent or feel something that's going on under the surface. That's a Pluto thing. So I would say with these cards, because these cards are basically showing that there's like a lot of energies all crisscrossing applesauce, that we have to really check in with our intuition around these questions and around whatever's happening with you. You can see everybody's got their own little thing that's going on right now. And some of it's little, some of it's not. But everybody's got something going on. And so whatever's going on for you at this time, this is what we have to work on. And it's saying to use this Pluto intuition. If something is triggering during this time, or if something feels dark, or something feels whatever, well, we got to follow that for sure. It's something that's big. I hope that helps everybody. Okay. Hi, Joanne. Yes, I know you're logging on. If you want to have a personalized astrological session, like I said, please let me know. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, for watching, for recommending, for liking this broadcast. You guys are amazing, and I hope this helps. And yeah, I will see you guys next Monday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook, or like I said, the replay on YouTube. Bye, everybody, and namaste.